Hello my friend, welcome back to my channel, and here I am as usual. On this video I will give you a whole idea how you can wrap this dashboard with material. This dashboard belongs to the Dune Buggy. If you don't have experience doing this kind of job, it might be too complicated. It might be a challenge for you. Why? Because the shape that it have, all those stitches that you have to put it, and you don't know from where to start. If you are one of those, don't worry about it. I will give you a whole idea how you can do it. The purpose of my video, it is just that, giving you an idea. You can see the dashboard. You will see me preparing, cutting, and wrap up with material that dashboard. On the glove box compartment, on this video, I'm not going to show you that part because it's kind of complicated. I have to cut the metal. You know, when you add vinyl on one side, when you add leather, that will get bigger, and to prevent that I have to cut the material, and you will see it. You will see, but that will be on another video. So keep in mind, this is just an idea. Just an idea, my friend. For those who have experience working this kind of dashboard or something harder than this. So thank you so much for being here. First thing first, I will remove the dashboard compartment, the glove box compartment, and come with the rivet, and I will put it the same way. I will use, instead of chrome rivet, I will use a black rivet because that's the way they made it. I cannot change that part. So then you will sand it all around, inside and outside. Why inside? Inside just when you will glue the material. There are two different fonts that you can use for this. There is a black color and a white color. I will use the white as a closed cell font. I am sanding it that way. When I put glue and I glue it to the aluminum, will get strong. And then I am putting glue right here. You can see I am putting a lot of glue, and I put a lot of glue on the closed cell font too. The glue that I am using is the strongest glue. It's a Down trap and trim glue. That's the most of the people use for this kind of job, and it is kind of expensive, but it's worth it. Now I am gluing that font to there. The thickness of that font, it is 1/8 of an inch thickness. 1/4 of an inch, to me, it is too much. Plus I will be sanding. You will see it. Then I cut it all around. I am not going to show you 100%. I am not going to show you the easy thing. I am pretty sure, my friend, you will do the easy thing without watching me how I doing it. So after I sanded, and right here I am cutting, eliminated the font on that area because there will be a gasket in there, and I don't want that part to grow in, because otherwise the gasket won't fit in there. So I am using I am doing it manually. That way I have more control. And right here, the inside, I am eliminated that font in there. So I sanded, but it's kind of sharp, that angle, and I don't want that. So now I sanded to eliminate that sharp. And I sanded all the white font on top. The purpose to sand it is when I glue both sides, the glue will grab more, will hold more in there. I will use a suede, the good suede, and I will use Upholstery, that is a marine vinyl. If you're going to use leather, make sure to use those don't use the thick leather. Napa, Reliquary are good brand for this kind of job. Napa leather or Reliquary leather. Then you will put a line. You have to keep in mind when you are doing something like this. Sometimes require, no matter what, require a stitch. If you require a stitch, draw a line in there. and then you will cut the material and you will put a stitch in there. Because if you're trying to make it one piece, it is impossible. Impossible to make this dashboard with a few pieces. You have to put a lot of pieces, sewing those pieces together. Then you will measurement and you will cut those pieces with extra. Don't cut it even because you have to glue it and trace it. If you don't have enough material, make a pattern, then go cut the material based on that pattern. So I put glue in there. You can see I'm going to use a vinyl. I am not going to make a pattern for this. I put glue, then I glue the vinyl to that dashboard, and I start tracing. I start marking. The marking that you see in the black vinyl is the marking that is under, the red line that is under. Okay, now I'm putting those marks in there. The purpose of those marks, it is where when I am sewing, I have to make sure those match, and when I am coming to put that cover on the dashboard, I have to make sure those marks match too. And I am cutting always. I give you extra for the seam allowance, 1/2 inch, and I am putting glue right here, and I am putting a little bit of glue on that sway. Then I glue it. Then I made some cut. The purpose of those cuts is to molding that sway. And I do the same thing on this side. I put glue. Then I get the sway and I'm molding to that shape. There it is. So then you will have to mark it. Draw a line exactly where the other alignment is. When I work on this dashboard, the temperature was so high, 108, 109 Fahrenheit. It was so humid. And I do the same thing on the bottom lane. Mark it and put those marks. Then I cut it, giving the extra for the seam allowance. And I do the same thing on the top. Okay, I done with the sway. Now we're going to cut this center piece. And it's the same thing, my friend. This is the same thing. Put glue on the vinyl, put glue on the dashboard, glue the piece, trace it, put those notches. You will do the same thing with all those pieces. And then I just put it, making sure, and I will do the same thing with this piece. If it's the vinyl that you are using stretch a lot, don't stretch it. Just stretch it a little bit. A little bit. Don't stretch it a lot. Don't force it too much. See, I put glue on that piece, then I'm using a feature silver ink because it is vinyl. And then I will mark it right here. I made some cut because I need the material to molding. Be consistent with that line, exactly where the red line it is, so be consistent. And I do the same thing with the other side. This side is different than the other side, so I have to mark it separated. I got the bottom piece, I got the front piece, and I got the pieces that are going to be underneath in the front side. So now I just need to cut the top pieces. I glue it, then I trace it. You know, when you cut it with extra. If you don't have enough material, so you have to make a pattern, because otherwise you will waste a little bit of material. Then I cut in the center piece, and it's the same process. I should skip all this. For me, it would be easier to skip all this process because I just show you how you can mark one piece, but all those pieces are not the same. So that's what I am here showing you everything. That way you can see it, the whole process. If all those pieces were the same, I just showed you one, and I'm pretty sure you will get the idea how to do the other one because they are easy. They are the same, but this kind are different. So I put glue on the vinyl, put glue, a little bit of glue on the white foam, and then I draw a line in there on top of the red line. Then I just cut it, giving for the seam allowance. I got everything cut out already. So I will take it to the sewing machine. See all those pieces. If you think you are going to confuse which piece going with so put a number on it. Number 1 is going with number 2, number 2 with number 3, and that order you will take it to the sewing machine and start sewing it. So because I will put a frame stitch, I am making the stitch as small as possible. And I start sewing all those pieces. I know for you it is kind of hard to see all those notches match each other for the position where the camera it is, but it has to match, my friend. Keep in mind, all those notches has to match. If it don't match by a half of an inch, I think you will be in trouble. Half of an inch is a lot. And I'm putting those stitches in there and sewing the vinyl, and I would put a frame stitch in there, but that would be on the different machine, double needle. And right here I am sewing that way. Okay, same thing, I will put a frame stitch. The thread that I was using is a T270. It's a thick thread. When I buy this machine, they told me that the thickest thread that I use that I can use on this machine was the T210, and you can see I'm using the T270. I just have to make some adjustment on the tension, but that's all. You can see me. Why I'm using post machine for this kind of job, this kind of stitch, double needle, because it is way easier for this kind of the job. Of course, that doesn't mean that if you have a double needle with table, you can do this on those machines too. But to me, this kind of machine is way easier, post machine. And there is the French stitch in there, and you can see it. and I done with the French stitch. So because it doesn't have a pattern on both sides, so I just cut it close to the stitch right here, and I will cut them on the vinyl too. So I go back to my console 226 and to put the last stitch. I almost done sewing. Then I will take it to a table and I will start applying glue. Here is when the fun part began, my friend. I will put a lot of glue on both pieces. The glue that I am using is a land down trap and trim glue. I am putting a lot of glue. After I apply glue on both pieces, I will let it dry for at least 7 minutes. The weather right now, it is 109 Fahrenheit. I will let it dry for at least 7 minutes. By me letting it dry for 7 minutes, the purpose of that it is, if for any reason I glued that cover to a dashboard and I am gluing wrong, I can unglue it. But for me to unglue it, I don't have to apply pressure on it. If I glue it and I apply pressure with a rod and I apply hot air and I want to unglue it, that will be hard. So when it is easy to unglue it, when you just put them on and you notice something is wrong, you can unglue it. That is the purpose, to let it dry that long. At the end, you have to use your hand, palm of your hand, to rub it, or a roll to create pressure on it, and by doing that, that would be hard to unglue it in case if you want to do that later. See how much glue I am putting? I am putting a lot of glue underneath where the material will glue, and then all around. So first I put the material, then I have to look for the center where the alignment is, where those notches are, and I have to make sure the French stitch go exactly on the middle of that red line. Exactly. Don't put it to the side, no, exactly. Take your time. If you have to unglue it, you will unglue it. On my case, I will without problem, because this happened like 9 minutes ago that I applied glue. So I'm pretty sure that line match and those notches match right here. Just take your time if you are doing something similar like this. Take your time. See, I am seeing where those notches are, and then I have to pay attention to the French stitch, because the French stitch, starting with the color, it is so visible, so notable. Any mistake, you will see it from far away. So if that thread was black, that can help you to hide any mistake, because it is the same color as the material, but in this case it's not. So make sure. See, at the end I will apply hot air where the vinyl it is, and I will use a tool to make it nice and smooth. It is at a vinyl and suede, so if this was at a leather and it's a good leather, it will be easier too. But if you are going to use those kind of leather from Keystone, from Veteran, from Caskin, those kind of leather are kind of hard to work with it. So you're making sure no air bubble, making sure that thing look nice and neat. This is the hardest part. I consider this the hardest part of the whole job. But don't worry about it if you're doing something like that. Don't worry about it. Just take your time. And the good thing is I don't have to put this dashboard on the car. Customer will do it, so that is good. Sometimes you have to remove it from the car and put it back. Imagine you make an excellent job, and when you are putting them on the car, you make a scratch. You have to make them again. So you can see it right there, that is stitch. And right here have a weird angle, weird shape on the bottom, so but I can't follow on that shape, so it will look weird in there. But that part won't show it because it's the bottom. But doesn't mean you don't have to do it nice. Eliminate any wrinkle. See, right here I can see a wrinkle. I just unglue it and then I glue it back, and then I apply pressure with the palm of my hand. See, and same thing right here. I see something is not right, I just unglue it and I glue it. I apply pressure, then I use a rod. The purpose of that is making sure that piece stay in there. Any mark in there, you know, sometimes you can see a mark on the vinyl, so I am using that and a hot air, and that will remove. And sometimes I use a steamer, but in this case it is not necessary. In this case, not even the heat gun, it is necessary. I cut it a ½ inch away from that metal, and then I glue it underneath. Right here, I have to make some split cut in there because it is like a inside corner, and in order to fold the material underneath, I have to cut it. Any cut that you make, it has to be under. If you can see that cut from outside, you will be in trouble, especially if nothing go on top of that part. If you can see it, the customer will see it. He might not like it, so be careful when you cut something. And on those corners, there will be a molding in there, so I cut the material. See right there, I cut it, then I fold it in, I pull it in. There will be something on there. Then on the corner I will cut it because it will create like right there. You can see him exactly on that corner. So I just get a scissor and you can see it. You just saw what I did. Right here, the shape that I have it is weird. so I have to take my time. I cut the excess material right here. This is kind of weird, so I cut it and I fold it in, and right here too. So I got that part. Just have to one more little thing. This is easy. I just cut it and fold it and glue it. Let me see it from outside. You can see it from outside. Look nice. I will cut it. I will trim it a little bit more later, but that will be later. And I keep doing the same thing all around. Right here I have to be careful about it because there is the French stitch. Then I just cut it right there. I can leave it like that, not a problem. But I feel better if I cut it. And then I trim a little bit more. Okay. One more thing. I have to make the hole for the glove compartment. 3 more holes. First I have to find out where the edge of this it is, and I can see it. I know through the camera it's hard to see it. There is the edge, so I will cut it 1 inch away from the edge, and I will pull it in. It had glue already, so I put glue at the beginning. So I just make a cut on that corner. I will do the same thing on the rest of those corners. And that is, it looks so easy, huh? Super easy. Okay, I just roll and same thing right here. Okay, and the glove compartment I did the same thing. I will make a separate video for this glove compartment enclosure. I cut the aluminum, I cut the hinges, I make a lot of things because the material made that area growing, and when I put it back like that, it's not gonna fit, I'm pretty sure. So I will make a separate video of that part. And there is the dashboard, my friend. You can see it. Outstrip on the top, marine vinyl, suede on the front, and outstrip on the bottom. So if you're going to wrap this with leather, make sure to use a nice leather. Don't use a thick material. It will be hard for you to do it. And no matter what you do with the hard leather, sometimes look ugly. Use the right material. Napa leather and Relic leather, those one are a good brand for this kind of job. This is just an idea, my friend. It is so important when you are going to use a thread that is so visible, like different color of the material. Try to sew in as straight as possible. Any mistake that you make on that stitch will be so notable from far away. And if you cut everything correctly, if you sew everything perfectly, where you are going to glue it, the material to the dashboard, make sure to follow those marks that you put it. Make sure, because you can make everything perfect, but if you don't glue it correctly, that will look so bad at the end. And on this kind of job, because it takes time, because are not easy to make it, charge a lot. When you charge a lot, customer will be more I don't want to use that word picky, but will be more will ask you for more. They will pay attention to any mistake. Why? Because it is an expensive job. So try to avoid any mistake. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy. If that was the case, don't forget to hit the like button. If you have been following me for a long time ago, but you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And you will see a lot of things related to upholstery on this channel. So see you soon on the next video. Please, my friend, stay tuned for the next video. I don't know if it will be the next, but I will make another video related to the glove box of this dashboard. So please, see you soon. Ciao, ciao.